Alright, last time, if you recall, I basically went to the Flood Cave. And that was basically, getting over to the other side, so to speak, of the Far East and the campaign and all that. So, first of all, just to make this a very big note, warning, this is going to be one of those things where if you do this, you won't be able to do anything else. Tannen is like the guy who I'm basically going to sort of get like the Far Portal built to get back to the Far East. Basically bring him the resources. Now, the thing about him is you have to really note is that he really asks for this orb of yours that you're actually using to get over to Maj'Eyal. If you give it to him, basically what happens is you can't use the Far Portal in Reknor to get back over to the Far East. You're pretty much stuck doing his quest. Now, something to note here. The thing here is that he has two options, basically. Here it is, guard it carefully, I must return to Far East Oon, and I dare not let it out of my sight. I'm sorry. The thing here is that these two choices actually lead to two different type of events. If you say, I will not let it out of my sight, you basically go to Fearscape, and if you say, here it is, blah, blah, he'll basically send you to a tower, which is very, very difficult. I recommend basically going here during my sight, and hand the orb. And basically, he basically paces back in absence staring at the orb. And basically he asks you to go to the Far East. So you're going to basically go to Reknor, is what he's basically telling you to do. Go to the Reknor Far Portal, get back to the Far East, ask Demokes a few questions. All is good in the world, right? So this is what happens when you retain the orb. So we're just going to go over to Far Portal. So, you're over here, you're about to go back to the Far East, la la da. So, demonic Orb of Many Ways. It felt nothing like your previous uses of the Orb of Many Ways. Tannen must have switched the orb out for a fake. Alright, so this is sort of like the dungeon you end up if you retain your orb. And this is Fearscape. Fearscape is pretty much where you'll find lots of demons. Lots and lots of demons. So here's a demon, the Rexling. They're always surrounded by other Rexlings. Now you want to be sort of careful in here because you can take a lot of damage. And I mean, like, you can take a shit ton of damage in here if you're not careful. We're actually going to move the time shield over. This is actually a nice little barrier, but I probably shouldn't be using it unless it's an emergency. This is actually worth using, potentially for healing myself up. Anyhow, there's going to be lots of demons in here. Here's a Dalek. These guys are an elite type of demon. They're like a spellcaster. They're kind of resistant to damage, but surprisingly enough, they're not resistant to darkness damage. Let's activate this. Just kill them. There's going to be basically a lot of demons in here, so to speak, that I'm going to have to basically go through. The boss in particular is nothing really, to mention, by the way. I found like the boss, or here's the boss right now. So here's Drebor the Imp. Compared to like the other boss you might fight if you gave him the orb Tannen, this boss is a lot easier. I think it's just like big portion, and this guy just runs around like an idiot. We'll basically hit him with this, and this guy apparently popped up behind us. That's kind of fun. Whatever, we're just going to heroism, activate all this, blind speed. I basically want to tear through this guy as fast as possible. The faster you get through Drebor here, the faster you basically get a portal to get out of here. And more importantly, with my character being such high damage, he just falls over. So as the annoying imp falls, a portal appears under his corpse. So that's done, and I leveled up. There's shifting boost. The Drebor guy drops it, so we're actually going to stay here. So note by the way that the portal basically drops underneath where Drebor is, and he basically drops his items. If I step on it, I basically can get out of here, but we're going to basically hold on that and just stick around to sort of kill other stuff, so to speak. Boost up this a little bit more. And we'll boost our way over to Essence of Speed. This is almost up to 60. That's kind of nice. Stay. and we'll explore these demons a little bit. So pretty much all the demons here are like stuff you've probably already seen, I believe. So there's a fire imp, here's a Kazit. Be careful of the Kazits, by the way, if you're a melee character like me. They're those little brown demons that, you know, sort of popped out. They're kind of sometimes can be kind of dangerous. Okay, I just got hexed. Note that there's also ghosts in here, so we actually have a Dreadmaster, so kill him. Sometimes you'll find Banshees and Dreads in here as well. And Ruined Banshees too. He's out of the way. Here's a Dolig. Tried to use a lightning infusion there, or lightning ruin. So yes, I consider this dungeon through Fearscape to be a whole lot more easier than going to the other one. The other one is called Tannen's Tower for your information. And pretty much the reason I dislike Tannen's Tower is because it's sort of like the Dark Crypt. The Dark Crypt, if you recall, was basically a small instance with lots of like spellcasters and all that. Tannen's Tower is very similar to it. It's not as horrid as, you know, as Dark Crypt was, but I mean, the thing about it is because it's like so enclosed, there's a good chance you'll find like that very tough monster is going to cause you problems. And if it causes you problems, then, you know, you're going to be having a tough time, because that's your only way, so to speak, of getting off or getting out of the Maj'Eyal. You have to go through the dungeon, so to speak, to get to Tannen again. Same with this one, by the way. You have to go through Fearscape once you give him that orb, and you can't go back to the fire to complete any of the other stuff until you actually do. I'll note, by the way, I should be using regeneration infusions to sort of speed up my healing process. Kill that fire imp. Note that it's like taking like a turn every single time for me like to pop up my health all the way. Did you block? Nope, he used something else, I guess. These, like, you know, brown demons, by the way, they have the ability to use block. And there is a Dwarf Dolden. Okay, this is going to be very stupid. We're actually going to charge out to these guys. Note that this is, like, you know, a good instance where charging into black is a bad idea. But, whatever. So, basically, over here, there's, like, all these Rexlings. There's a Dreadmaster. Lots and lots of fun, so to speak, all over here. I'm going to Blinding Speed, Heroism. I'm going to Rush. Just kill everyone here, so to speak. These guys aren't resistant to fire, so do that. I'll do this. And apparently these are different effects. And sadly, Providence removed the wrong one. Alright, this is probably a good instance to sort of teleport away. Since I can't see what the hell I'm doing. And there's like a, you know, rare and a bunch of other guys around me that could be troublesome. So, teleport somewhere, don't know where I am, doesn't really matter. We're just going to heal up here. There's another Dalek, there's a Banshee, as I, stated, there's also Banshees. There's one of those guys. Let's do act this, act that. Let's put a little fire on those guys. Note that this guy, he's hurting his friends whenever he gets close to him. So that firestorm that they're basically doing is hurting everyone around them. Now, you want to be very careful here. You haven't really seen them yet, but there's some like elites in here that can be really troublesome, so to speak, when they pop up. They haven't popped up yet, but they might at some point. Most of the stuff in here has been like sort of trash mobs. A couple of elites that are kind of notable, like those Daleks. But the really notable one we've yet to really come across. There's another Dreadmaster. I love me some Dreadmasters in here for some reason. Alright, once you basically explore this area, it's basically it. There's nothing else to explore. Just go back to Drebor, wherever he was, and just go to the portal. See if I can figure out how to get back to him. There it is. Oops. So we're just going to enter. So Drebor drops the shifting boots. They're basically a blinking type of spell. They basically let you just, you know, go to a random location like Phase Door. They also give you a bit of a talent mastery in Temporal, so it's actually sort of useful if you're like sort of using it. But I'm going to keep this for the immunities over here rather than like say for this. Found some nice boots, I guess, though. But now we're not going to use any of that stuff. So let's get rid of all that. So basically, after you go through Fearscape or whatever else, you peer back into Maj'Eyal. And you can go basically confront Tannen about him taking your orb. Now, after you basically go to Tannen's Tower, the other alternative dungeon, or to Fearscape there, you always go back to Tannen here, and then he just basically sends you to the next dungeon, which is the portal brought you what seems to be a cell in the basement of the tower. You must escape. So, Tannen's Tower! So, this is the final quest, so to speak, for this sort of like quest here. Kill those guys. The first floor, and I'll note by the way, unlike the other dungeons where you're usually starting at the first instance, this is actually starting on the fourth. Unlike with other dungeons, you're actually trying to fight your way out of the tower, so to speak. Alright, so here's these rooms. On Tannen's Tower 4, there's basically these 4 switches that you have to all hit, and they're all guarded by like different types of mobs. So here's like some drakes. There are also going to be some demons in over there, and if you look over here, there'll be some elemental type of enemies. So there's basically going to be these like, you know, this is actually a precursor, so to speak, because these 4 enemies, they're actually going to be used again, sort of like in this like sort of type of like manner. These like, you know, drakes and demons, elementals, and undead enemies. You'll basically see what I mean when you get to it, but just sort of bear that in mind. They'll be sort of coming back. Anyhow, I just want to sort of say hi to these guys, get them to come out to me. We're basically just going to kill everyone that sort of pops out here, or try to. And for some reason they didn't come to me, so we're just going to go to them. Boom! And we'll just shadow step. Yeah, it's easy. Usually dragons are a little bit more tougher for me, but whatever. So this one's for the demons. Demons do, as you can probably guess. None of these guys should be really a big issue, but I'm basically sort of keep in mind that this firestorm's hurting me, by the way. Alright, that's it for demons. These guys can be a little bit bothersome sometimes, but usually there's nothing too bad about them. Okay, we come over here. This is the final door. Bunch of elements in here. We're just going to jump in, basically kill everyone. Apparently, for some reason, I hurt myself there. One of these guys must have had a sort of retaliation ability there. Anyhow, Tannen's Tower 4, that's, you know, very quick instance. It's just 4 type of, like, you know, guardians for each type of switch. Once you get out, you get to this, like, second, like, you know, actually the third part, not the second part. It's basically water themed, and this is where actually sort of I built up that Eldritch Pearl. You'll note that there's not a whole lot of places to breathe. There is actually some places to breathe, like these floors, where you can actually get to, but preferably I'd rather come through here with, like, underwater breathing item, and I only have one, of course, with the new Eldritch Pearl I picked up from before in the last episode. By the way, there's also traps in here. Luckily, these traps aren't being a real, issue to me because we basically have Feather Steel that lets me disarm it, and I also avoid pressure traps. So these traps that require a sort of if I didn't have Feather Steel on, I basically would activate those, but because I'm sort of light of foot, I'm not really triggering them. Some of them will be triggered regardless. Let's go down here a little bit. This trap here, this whatever trap, I don't know what it's called, but basically that trap doesn't require I be walking on like a pressure plate. It just activates when I go into tile. Alright, that's it for this instance. So you shouldn't have too much trouble probably going through these, I don't think. The real issue is going to be probably on the last level or the first level, depending on how you look at it. Let's activate the time shield, perhaps. Oh, Master Archer. One of these guys. Bye. He dropped an artifact. And I lost sight there. Temporal Stalker. It's nice being able to see those Temporal Stalkers. I really don't like them. Okay, we got ourselves a Pharaohs and these guys here. Just knock those guys off. Back up, back up. Interesting. Again, interesting. He's gone. Ooh, a Ruined Banshee. Have I touched on these guys yet? But I think I already did. But I'm pretty sure I touched on the Ruined Banshee, but these guys are like the elite Banshee type of enemies. You want to be kind of careful of them, but this guy's going to die anyways in a moment, so it's not really a big issue for me right now. Let's kill these guys. Done. Alright, that's out of the way. Now, Tannen's Tower 1. This is where you get a nice little surprise. So, I'm probably going to let you just guess, but you're going to be fighting Tannen. But Tannen's got a little surprise for you. Here's Tannen's golem. He's an alchemist. And his golem's a giant dragon. If you basically go here, here's Tannen right there. He always spawns like the same spot. I'll note that these instances for Tannen's Tower are always the same. They're always going to be the same layout all 4 times, so you can always expect the same thing. He's also always going to spawn in the same place as well, so here he is. Tannen. The traitor has been revealed, and he does not intend to let you escape to tell tale. And both him and his golem are bosses. Anyhow, we're just going to basically kill him. We're going to basically rocket over to him, try and stun him, cripple him. Note that this guy came over. We can just basically do that. He's gone. Usually Tannen's going to die really quickly for you. He's not really that tough, I don't think. Though this Drolem, however, is a little bit different. And note that even though he's invisible, he still blocks line of sight. This guy's actually kind of special in that he's so big, basically, that he actually blocks line of sight from everything beyond him. So anything back here I can't see. They can see me, but I can't see them. You know, note he's taking a beating, but there he goes. Alright, once you basically, kill everyone and you can loot the stuff, and there's a portal much like with Fearscape, which lets you go basically back to Last Hope. So pretty much that's the quest for the rest of Back and There again. And then you get basically this guy popping up, Maris of Herald of Angewin. A robed human is waiting for you when you step out of the portal. Blah blah, he's from Angewin, he's worried. Basically watching, he's glad, blah blah blah. We basically hand him stuff, and he makes us our portal. So thank you! We are now out of here. And Tannen is basically dead. Now before we leave, I'm just going to check over here for your stuff. And we are basically done here. Did I pick up Time Prison? I should probably be showing this off sometime, Time Prison. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, basically there's lots of interesting abilities that the Shadow Blade can sort of make up because they're like, they're metal and magic. Time Prison is kind of interesting because of how it sort of works, and I should probably show it off so, you know, just how it can be used. Alright, we are done. And you know what? Since we're doing like a warning type of episode already with like going into Tannen's Tower and all that, let's go do a real warning type of dungeon, so to speak. Hello, Shadow Crypt. Now, if you recall from when I said it before, I guarantee or almost near guarantee that this is going to kill me. The Shadow Crypt is a very interesting place because you're basically going to be fighting these shade type of enemies. So here's a shade of a Naga Meridian. And these shades are basically forms of like monsters that you can find in the game. And they can walk through walls. They're kind of like ghosts, these guys. And they have all the talents that they're, you know, of what they're imitating. There's a shade of a Pyromancer. You know what he would do. Snow Giant. This guy. Alright, so here's probably a good instance where I can sort of show off Time Prison. So let's activate new. So we cast Time Prison and she's removed from time. So what's happened is that she's been hit with Time Prison. Time Prison is a very special type of ability that basically makes it so enemies like no longer act for a little bit. So she's not going to act until that basically goes away. I can't even hit her basically while she's like that. And now she's out of time. So that's like sort of like what Time Prison can be used for. You can use it to sort of like prevent guys from acting for a little bit. So you can basically thin out a guy until later, so to speak, with this. So you remove the guy from the flow of time for 7 turns. In this state, the target can neither act nor be harmed. Time does not pass for them. No talents will go on cooldown. No resource will regen or anything. And you know, that's what it basically does. The duration will increase with your spell power. And I'm not sure, but I think that it might make a spell check save against stuff as well. But don't quote me on that. Now, I'll note, by the way, that if I want to, I can actually use this on myself. So let's use Time Prison on myself. Are you sure you want to target yourself? So what does happen? Now, with Time Prison, when you use it on yourself, you basically remove yourself from time. So these guys, they got all these attacks on me. They weren't able to do anything for that time, but it basically shows off what you can do with, like, you know, how inventive this basically can be used for. So I basically used it there to sort of like, you know, pummel these guys a little bit. Kind of interesting. You want to be very careful with using it on yourself or, you know, stuff like that, but, you know, there's things to sort of think about with it. It can be kind of useful if you know how to use it right. Alright, let's just mosey on through here. I'm kind of perplexed on why I haven't seen any non-shade enemies, because there is a few non-shade type of enemies in here. Right now we've basically been fighting the shades of all this stuff. As they walk through walls and all that other stuff. I'm not sure, by the way, but I think these guys can see through walls as well. So these guys will just like go through walls. I think they got like telepathy of some sort. Not sure if I can actually see that anywhere. They have vision range 10, heightened senses 10. They see, you know, all that other stuff, blah blah blah. I don't think they sort of show it off, but they sort of have like sort of some sort of telepathy type ability, sort of to see you. Let's see here. I have all this lovely stuff in here. I'm just gonna kill him. Whatever. I just basically want to get through this dungeon and get killed as as soon as possible, so to speak. So we're almost all dead. Alright, much like with any other dungeon, you can go make sure that there's nothing cut off that you didn't explore, because, it'll sometimes happen in this dungeon, much as the other dungeons. But it looks like all this stuff is actually connected this time around to the level. So everything that I explored looks like it's connected. So there was no bits chopped off by the level design. Okay, let's get going. So there's a second level of this. Rogue's War Tomb Ring. Interesting ring. Another level of this, basically. There's a Shadow Blade there. Dead Shadow Blade. There's a Grandmaster Assassin. We're level 40! Hooray! And we got 2 points into time, or not time prison, but Essence of Speed. Which means I now move a little bit faster. I act a little bit faster. I'm awesome. Now note that this Essence of Speed has a really high mana cost to it. So, you want to sort of be careful of that mana cost. Note that I don't actually have that mana cost. This is sort of show that off. Eventually I'm going to use Essence of Speed, but it's going to cost me a lot of mana to sort of keep it on. Most likely you'll probably see me maybe take off this Shadow Combat, because there's really going to be no reason to put it on anymore. Shadow Field will be worth keeping on, or well, actually these are mana based. I might take off Premonition as well. I'll probably do, since Premonition is not as good as being able to move faster. Just exploring around. Anaconda. Well, that's kind of sad. I guess before I leave here, I want to note that it is possible to find spellcaster type of enemies that aren't shades. They're essentially going to be like orc blood mages, orc necromancers, orc corruptors, basically. They won't be shades, they won't act like the shades, but they will basically be, very, themed for this darkness type of area. But we didn't find any. And we're about to go to the boss, so let's just get that going, I guess. Alright, so Shall Crypt free. And nope, don't really care. Blah blah. Welcome to where I'm gonna die. This guy is the boss of Shadow Crypt. He is called Rexor Cultist, and he has a very special ability sort of associated with him. Basically, what's going to happen here? I'm going to basically use Raft of Woods here, and we're actually going to use, I think, what do I want to use? We're going to use Barrier. Or, no, yeah, we're going to use Barrier. And what's going to happen here, I'm going to basically charge this guy really fast. And whenever you knock off all his bone shields, he has a very special ability. He says, Rakahur Merkzur, so Rakahur Mer, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, Doom Shade of Davian Letzlern casts a protective shield just in time. So, what's going on? Doom Shade of Davian Letzlern is now the boss of this instance. Essentially, this is why I'm going to die. I am fighting myself. And you'll notice that his like sort of abilities here, he's basically got a mirror of all my abilities that he has on right now. So he has like Wrath of the Eternals, Damage Shield, and then unlike me, he's also like put on like a little bit of a extra thing there. He actually used something else basically to put it on. So now I'm basically fighting against my Doom Shade, and this guy is going to be able to slaughter me basically. The Doom Shade is basically going to have all my talents and is going to have all my damage attributes. And noticeably, he's also a little bit tougher than me. So let's just inspect creature myself. So you'll notice that if you just look at my character, I have like an attack of like over 100 damage here. I've got like, you know, critical chance of like 39%. I've got like a multiplier like 169%. So that's how much damage I do actually when I basically do critical strikes. And I've got all this damn defense as well. So, you know, 75 defense, range defense 75. This guy's going to have all of that just as well as I do. So if I look at him, 119, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's got the critical multiplier. He's got the same defense. Nice, massive, like, you know, resistances that I have, like, on my character. So blah, blah. So this guy, he's tough for one reason. He's me. And I'm very tough. So now I'm basically fighting him and him. And what we're basically going to want to do here is basically go all out and try and beat this guy. We basically want to do Nature's Pride right here, try and get these guys to get the, you know, maybe this guy's attention for a split second while I try and not die. I may want to use Time Prison on one of these guys just to sort of, you know, survive this instance a little bit. But we're going to do this first and this. And let's just try, let's see here. I don't know if these guys' spell saves really matter or anything like that, so this guy's got a spell save of 30, and I have a spell save of what? I got a spell save of 36, so comparably our spell saves are kind of similar. What we're going to do is we're going to use Time Prison on him, and luckily I put him out of time, so he's no longer going to be an issue. And note that he basically summoned Trents, so now we've got Trents and Trents and Trents and Trents. And luckily he did actually get targeted by Trent, so I don't have to worry about him attacking me just yet. But this guy's now out of time. And now we're basically just going to go all out and try and kill this guy before he basically gets a shot on me, because this guy can do damage. I don't want him hitting me. Alright, before I blabber on any further, let's just kill him. Or try not to die. We're going to use Dirty Fighting. And unfortunately we didn't, you know, stun him or anything. Or maybe I did stun him and then he just cured it. Or I just missed him entirely. That could happen too. If you miss him, you don't get the benefit of Dirty Fighting, right? So this guy is very dodgeable because I'm dodgeable. Now I've got to basically deal with that damn dodgeability. Let's do boom. And what happened there? Going at the wrong thing. There it is. Miss him twice. So yeah, this is basically where we can like see what's going on. Basically, I missed him there again. All right, what to do with this guy? He's being kind of annoying. He doesn't seem to want to die. Let's try hitting with Flurry. So let's see here. Where's my damn Flurry? I used Flurry. He basically evaded me a whole bunch of times. So this is why this fight's going to be kind of difficult, because this guy's, you know, me, and he's going to be like a troublesome little foe. I think we actually hit him there. Well, you look at that, I actually hit this guy for once. So there's like the damage I did to him. Did a little bit of damage there finally. Let's try Cripple on him, maybe I can get him that. And Doomshade evades, blah blah, he completely got missed by it. Now, I'll note that what I'm sort of waiting for, I want to use, like, you know, this Wind Blade to possibly disarm him. If you disarm your guy, then, you know, he can't actually do anything to you, so that'd be, like, beneficial to do, but there we got another hit on him. Nice. Now, note that he's actually targeting me now, so I have to watch out for that, because, you know, I'm going to take a lot of damage if he actually manages to get a hit on me. And he did Congeal Time there, apparently, so I don't want to get hit by that. Let's go here. Still going after me. The Trent for once. So this guy's now out of time. He's like back in the fray. You are about to go away, so now it's a good time to maybe hit this guy with Windblade. So boom. Note that this guy's a whole lot weaker than me, so we're just going to go through him now, just to try and get him out of the picture before he's an issue. Actually, time shield, and let's do sweep. He used the rune of invisibility there, so now he's gone. But whatever. Burn him. Ow, 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 ow. So, this guy just hit me a whole lot of times there, so let's like sort of show it off. So, blah, blah, Doomshade, Let's Learn is no longer evading attacks, blah, blah, blah. Where does he go here? So, he basically missed me there. He basically hit me there for a little bit, so... Yeah, we're basically fighting each other now, like a couple of mad little Shadow Blades. It will not be a fun instance for me here, if I'm not careful. Let's see here. I'll actually use Eldritch Pearl now. And... well, that's fun. He teleported me around, I think. What did he do there? So he's knocked back. What did he use to... oh, he used Shadow Step on me there. So he basically just jumped to my... he jumped around there a little bit. I should probably note, by the way, that this guy... he apparently has stunned me with the gloom. That's actually an effective thing for one of my weapons. I'm not sure which one. Might have been this one. But anyhow, I basically have to watch out for that too as well. Basically, he dazed me with the Shadow Step there, and he also got like one of his, like, you know, effects that sort of proc on me. And in this instance, I sort of want to be very careful what else you can do. Let's activate this again. By the way, you can basically put these like twice, the Eldritch Pearl thing, so... did that twice. And apparently he centered my arm, so he's going to reduce my attack a little bit. No biggie though. Let's burn him a little bit. I overcome the gloom a little bit there, that's nice. Let's just rush him, I guess. And apparently he used Call Shadows. So now he's summoning shadows to sort of make my day. Now, I'm going to use basically just Baven Light here, and the reason for using this is actually going to boost up my shield a little bit. So I'll basically restore the thing a little bit more, so I, you know, don't die immediately. Let's see. Let's use Dirty Fang on him. He's blinded from something for some reason. Whatever. Oh, look at that. We got a stun on him. Alright, so we got lucky and managed to stun him, which means now I have a chance of maybe taking him out. So he's stunned. I basically want to try and hit him while he's stunned to sort of take him out. So, he activated another shield, I think. So we got another damn shield to go through. Basically, when he's stunned, he lost a whole lot of his defenses and such, so... he went down a little bit easier. Almost dead. Almost. He's now unknown. Note that he's using a Heroism infusion, by the way, right now. So, something I know about Heroism, basically whenever I use it, it gives that thing so I can basically go below. Basically, this lets me go below to negative 929 life. While he's got that on, I basically can't kill him unless I bring him down to like 1,000 or so health. So, he's going to take forever basically to die now. Just going to hit him a little bit. Basically do that. Activate barrier there. Let's activate our own heroism. And the bastard crippled me. He sundered my arms, confused me by the gloom. All that lovely stuff all at once. No matter. The thing here about him is that I'm actually wanting him to sort of like... what can I say about it? He's going to die in a moment because of the fact that his heroism has actually gone off at this point. So I actually want to try and just get one hit on him, so to speak, to try and finish him off. A flare might do it. And there we go, Clone War, destroyed your own shade. So that wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be, but in that sort of instance here, that is like one of probably the best instances where I might have died. It's noted that if you're like a rogue and you come in here, you're almost guaranteed to die, but I was just really sort of lucky there where you basically went after Trent, so to speak, and because I had such a high defense stat, he basically was unable to really hit me as much as I was able to hit him, so just very drawn out, which is actually good for me. Alright, he dropped Death Embrace, which basically, this is a nice like little thing that lets you go invisible. It also gives you some like, you know, stuff like Spell of Phantasm, Spell Cunning, Cunning Stealth and stuff like that. This is like kind of a decent armor for like rogue type of enemies or doomed type of guys, but I don't think we'll use it. So that was the Shadow Crypt, oddly enough. Alright, next time we come back, we are going to go down to one of these Orc Prides. Yeah, let's kill this guy. We'll just kill this guy and then make our way down there. Activate this, activate that, activate this, activate that. Let's go do this. Kill all them. Hello, there's a guy right there I didn't see until now. Nice. Get rid of that. Bastard disarm me. And they're all dead. There's the row of the Archmage. Gives you a little bit of blindness immunity, which is kind of nice. Mana per turn, all that are nice stuff. Anyhow, next time we come back, the plan will be I'm going to basically visit these like Orc Prides over here. I think we'll probably go into here first, but I'll basically decide what I'm going to do next time. Basically, if you recall from past episodes, well, you know, let's just do it right now. From past episodes, I went into this probably early just to sort of show you the levels of the stuff and what would happen when I entered it. We're going to basically go in here right now. And I'm going to have to fight Arc Patrol on the way out, but whatever, that's fine. So these guys, if you recall their levels, this guy here was like level 37, level 34, level 35. These guys were basically all lower level than me right now. So they're basically all the same levels as before. When I left here, we came back and all that. So that's their levels. They're like all lower level than me right now. We'll just go fight these orcs, I guess, right here. Yada yada yada, we're ambushed. Yoink. 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 I know he's there somewhere. Because, you know, he keeps doing that over again. This is where confusion, you know, stealthy enemies can be kind of annoying. He basically keeps blinding me there. Kill that guy. Another firewall type of wand there. Remember those? Use it for a good portion of the episode. Alright, so here's not Gorb's Pride. This is Raxor's Pride. And I'm just going to temporarily enter here just to start show off the levels of these guys. So, something to know about these like sort of instances. Note that these guys now have like levels sort of around mine. So, something to know about these guys is that they sort of have their levels sort of adjusted to be yours. Unless you go in there too early, in which case, you know, those guys were like, they're adjusted for like a level 35 guy going into them. The thing about it is that if you go to these like prides sort of early, like let's say I went to all these prides when I was level 35, like when I entered like that Gorb's Pride, I could have set all their levels like below mine quite a bit, and they would have been all like much easier as a result. I won't basically do that for like the other two, the ones like up by Grushnak and Lore, but more or less, next time what's going to happen. This probably is like the one I went into like earlier on. We're basically just going to go run through it, kill everyone in here, and after that, we're basically just going to get an event popping up, and I'll basically go on from there. For now, take care. We've reached we're actually very well into the late game at this point. Pretty much at this point, dealing with the Orc Prize. The Orc Prize pretty much symbolized like the sort of like last sort of steps, so to speak, before you get to like the final dungeon. Once you get through them all, that's basically it. You're into the final dungeon at that point. Anyhow, take care. I'll see you guys next time.